teach you how to make this jacket here, plus size. It is very easy to make, uses little material because the stitch is very leaky. Look, to make this coat here, I used 4 skeins of yarn, Mais Bebe from Circular Skeins of 100 green. I used the 5th skein just to make the bar here. This finished, so if you make it a little smaller, 4 balls, it will be enough, okay? So I used it, I had to buy 5 balls to make it. I used 4 and 1 little bit of the 5th ball. So I made it here in black color, but it's because it's an order, so I couldn't choose the color. I know it will be difficult to visualize the position of the stitches. Visualize it correctly in the video, but I teach you how to make the stitch, this stitch here. It is with a filter, a very light color that you can visualize well. You will learn how to make the stitch properly. And then I did the rest on the coat because there was no way I could do it with another thread, right? To teach him step by step. But I believe it will work so that you can visualize and do it, be able to make the coat. I teach during the class step by step to take your measurements to make of all sizes, which goes from PP to GG. According to each body, I teach myself very well there. Take the measurements and you will be able to do according to your body. So let's get down to the coat step by step. To make this coat, I will use the wool plus the BB from Circulo. They are 100 G balls. The Tex is the Tex 200. And it's a ball with 500 ml. It's 100% acrylic and suggests me for crochet. It's a 2mm to 3.5mm needle. So the color I'm going to use here is the color 940 Black Is. You will and I will use to weave the needle 3.5. Then you will also need scissors, tape measure, and some buttons if you want to put them. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to put buttons, but I'll decide later, so I'll buy anything later. So I don't have the buttons yet, but I'm deciding if I'm going to put it on or not. Then I'll do it with black wool. I know it's going to be hard to visualize, but I'm going to teach you how to make the stitch in a lighter color, yeah. So that you can visualize it well. How do you do it? The point, even though it's very easy, very simple, is I'm going to make a lighter color, right? So come on, it's for the coat step by step. Now I'm going to show you how I'm going to make this coat. I'm going to do it in parts. I'm not going to weave it whole, okay? So I'm going to make a panel, a part that's going to be the back. And 2 forward, so here I'll leave it. I'm going to do a decrease and I'm going to do 11 neckline to V-neck here, the same thing. I'll make another one, which is the other side of the front, So you're going to stay like this with my coat, okay? Two parts for the front and 1 part for the back. So the back here will be 70 centimeters because that's my measurement. The front, each one is going to be 34 centimeters, so like this. So I'm going to explain very clearly on the mannequin how you take the measurements, how you will take your measurements. I already took mine off, right? For this coat, I have to have, it was 140, the largest circumference here that I need, it was 140. So I divided by 2 because front and back, so the back I will have 70 centimeters, which is half of 140, it's 70, so it's 70 centimeters. And then I divided it here. Oh, how am I going to do it separately, right? So I divided 70 by 2. only I'm going to make it a little smaller, okay? So because if I add here, 34 plus 34 gives 68, I'm going to miss 2 cm, which I'm going to gain these 2 cm here, making a bar. So counting on the bar, I will have 70 centimeters if you want, can by exact size of the back, divided by 2, and I decided to leave a little smaller and make the bar here to win. So 34 plus 34, 68 and 2 centimeter. I do here 1 centimeter for each side and I can reach this size. The sleeves I like to make and wear. But I'm going to teach you how to take the measurements there very accurately, yes. So this here is a GG size that I'm making. I'll write it here. This is a GG. The point here is a multiple of 5 plus 4. So what's it like? It's this 5 plus 4 question. You will make a string of chains as you need. In my case, I have to have is, for example, the back part 70 centimeters. I'm going to make a 70 centimeters cord and I'm going to count these chains and see if I have a multiples of 5. Yeah, so I count to see if I have multiples of 5. If it worked out, the multiples of 5, I add 4 more chains. So after you find the multiples of 5, you add 4 more chains. I started here at the front and I need here, 74 little chains to give the size here of 34 centimeters. So how did I do 70 multiples of 4 plus 4 at the end? So I stayed with multiples of 70 is multiples of 5 plus 4 at the end. So I started this part here with 74 chains. So it's the front part. I started with 74 chains, so don't get too attached to my amount of chains. Because it will depend on the material you will use. Maybe you use a thicker wool or a corner. That could make a difference. Pay attention to your point. It can make a difference. Needle can make a difference. Even if you use the same thread, the same needle may not work. Because the tension of your stitch is tighter or looser, it gives that difference. So do it by your measurements, then make the string of chains according to the measurement, and then count to see if it is a multiple of 5, and add another 4 at the end. And now I'm going to teach you how to take the measurements. Okay, and then we started with making the jacket from the front, so now I'm going to show you how to take it off. The best way to get it right is your coat. So the first measurement I take is the circumference of the bust. I put the medical tape right on the highest part here of the bust and shoot. This measurement is, in my case, it's not because of the measurement of this mannequin that I'm going to make it, because I'm going to make it with size GG. So the bust circumference was 140. Okay, yeah. And another measurement is the circumference of the belly or waist. Come on, what are you going to do? You will take the largest measure. So you take the circumference of the bust, the circumference here of the belly, and if you want, also from shoulder to shoulder, you take it very tightly here on the shoulder, from shoulder to shoulder, for example, here, very tightly. Because sometimes from there you take the largest measurement, because, for example, I can have a wider shoulder, and do it by the measurement of the bust. Then it's right up here. Or I have a bigger bust and do it according to the belly measurement, then it fits snugly on the bust. Then take fit and pass with the largest measurement of these 3 that I spoke. Shoulder to shoulder, bust circumference. And belly circumference, this applies to men, women, adults, teenagers. Anyway, children are usually straighter, so it's easier to take the measurements, okay? But always like these three and take the largest one. In my case, the largest is 140 centimeters, and then I will divide by 2 to do the scratch, and forward, as I explained earlier, the other measurement you need to take. That's the distance you want here from the hood to make the decreases, okay? Distance from the collar here, I will leave more or less about 18 centimeters. This is where you place the 2 fingers on the side of your neck, O on each side, and take this measurement. Is this just for one base? No. If you don't take it off, no problem either. The other measurement is the circumference of the sleeve, which is here. You will have 2 options to take this measurement. You will leave the 2 fingers here, under the arm, the 2 fingers here under the armpit, which is to have that little break and not rub and bother the coat. So you always have to have this distance here between the 2 fingers, more or less. So you put the medical tape there where you gave the 2 extra fingers, circles the whole shoulder and arm here, getting there, where you put the little tip of the tape. You can take this circumference and then divide by 2, or you can also just put it here in front, leaving the 2 fingers below, and up here, the little bone right above the shoulder is here, this measurement. In my case, this measurement here I took the circumference, I need 43 centimeters here in mine. So here 43 is going to be 20 something, 21, 22 centimeters. Here's the cover. So a suggestion here, that always usually works. In my case it is for a size PA measurement of this cavity here. Normally it is 19 to 20 centimeters. Size M is 21 to 22 centimeters, and size is G. That's 22 to 23, right? P from 19 to 20 M, from 2021 to 22. EG from 23 to 24 centimeters, as I did here for the size of G, 24 centimeters, okay, which will give 48 centimeters. I left it much larger than the size I took here to look really loose, okay? So these are the measurements you need to take the circumference. If you take the circumference, then you divide by 2 so you know how to do it here. Or if it's not easier, take it here and take the measurement right here. Another measure is the length of the coat, length you want to make. So what are you going to do? You're going to put the measuring tape right over your shoulder, and you're going to run it over the top here, and you're going to go down to any length you want. In my case, I'll do it with 80 centimeters. Then why do you have to over here at the top? Because when you go to put on the coat, it's going to go up and it's going to be shorter. If you take it here by the measurement, it's lower. Then you will wear it here. It will go up and it will be shorter. So you're already doing this curve here, with this higher part. When you wear it, it will be the size you want. The other measure is also the pain in the arm. The arm, you need to take it out with it bent like this. Put the medical tape up here, go down here and come here with the bent wrist. And the same thing happens here with the bust because you leave it stretched. If you measure stretched, when you fold this blouse, it shrinks, then it will be short here. So you take it off folded because then it already makes this one. Extra little piece here for when you stretch and bend. It won't make a difference here in the length, so always take it off with the arm bent, so the arm measurement. You can also take the circumference of the cuff, which is for you to do afterwards the sleeve so it doesn't get too tight or too wide. So these are the measurements you need to take to make the coat. Then it's mine My coat will be 80 centimeters long. 140 circumference width, 43 centimeters sleeve hollow. Okay, so more or less that's what I'm going to base myself on doing. So let's get down to the coat step by step. So I'm going to teach you how to knit the coat now with this lighter wool here with the gray wool. It's for this show I made 20 chains, which is multiples of 5. Then you will take the measurement, make the string of chains in the measurement, and then you will count to see if it is multiples of 5. If you don't want to do the math, just count from 5 to 5. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is 12, 34, 51, 23, 45, 12, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, it's a multiple of 5. So after I find multiples of 5, I put another 4 at the end. Oh, 123 and 4. So I have 24 chains here in my show to start. I'm going to make a high point on the 4th chain coming out of the needle. Oh, 1234. On Wednesday, I'm going to go in with the needle and do a high stitch. So these little chains here will give me a high point. I'm going to make 3 chains and I'm going to jump 3 here from the base. Oh, so I did at that point, it doesn't count here. I'll go 123, a 123. On Wednesday, I make a high point. I'll go on the next chain and make a high point. So this one. It's called the shell point in the box. You're making the squares here to put the shell point in the channel. I have a video teaching you how to do this too. Okay? If you want to watch their shell point in the box, then I'll make 3 chains here. And I jump 3 here. Oh, 123. On Wednesday, I do a high point and I will do another high point here. On the next chain, I do 3 chains 12 and 3 and jump 3 here, 123. On the 4th, I do high point. And I'll make another high point on the side. So this career is just that until the end, okay? You will repeat this process here until you reach the end of your career. I'm going to make 3 little chains and jump 123, jump 123. On Wednesday, I do the high point, and here in the last one, I have left another high point. I end my first career this way. Here was the first career. For the second career, I'll make 3 chains equivalent to a high point. I'll change my work and go straight here. I did the chains, then 3113. I go on the second. I enter the second chain here and make a high point. Here I'm going to make my point is shell, which are 5 high points in the same space. Here, still on chain number 2123, right? Number 2. So I'm going to do 5 high points here in that same space. I already did 2. Let me just get my thread here. I did 2, 3, 4. And 5 high points. Oh, I'm going straight to the next chain space, and I'm also going to chain number 2. Oh, 12 and 3, I'm going to chain number 2. This one in the middle, and I'm going to make my other shell stitch, which are 5 high stitches together. In the same space, space, 2, 3, 4. I made here another quilt stitch. I'm going to go straight to chain number 2 and pass my 5 high points. Let me get about 5 here. Two, 3, 4, and 5. I go here to the last one there in Corentina number 2 and make my 5 high points. I made 5 high points. Oh, and so you keep doing until you reach the end of your career. I arrived here. Oh, I'm going to make a high point on this one in the 3rd chain here. Oh, that I made to turn. Oh, 123. On the 3rd I make a high point, and thus I finish the 2nd row. For the 3rd career, I will make 3 chains, which equals a high point to me. I'm going to turn my work around and I'm going to make a high point on the 1st point here. Oda.com only on the 1st one. I'm going to make a high point. I'm going to make 3 chains, 12 and 3. And I'm going to make a high point on the last point here of my fan 25. Oh, 23, 4, 5 in the 5th here. I'm going to make a high point. I'm going to make another high point on the 1st one here of the fan. I will always make the high point at the 1st and last point of the fan until I reach the end of my career. The scoop is here with this more winged detail here. Oh, it looks very beautiful. So I'll make 3 chains here and I'll get more sill here. Make a high point on the last point here. Oh, and a high point on the 1st point of the next fan. It's getting that way here. 3 chains, 12 and 3. Make a high point at the last point here of the fan. And another high point in the 1st here of the fan, 3 chains, a high point in the last point of the fan, and another high point in the 3rd chain, here 123 step, my last high point of my career. And so I finish career number 3. From now on, I'm going to repeat rows 2 and 3 until I reach the size I need for the piece. Oh, so now I'm going to make 3 chains and I'm going to turn my work around and I'm going to repeat what I did here in row 2. I'm going to make my fan in the 2nd chain. 1st, 2nd, I'm going to make the 5 high points. In this 2nd chain, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm going to the next space in the 2nd chain. I'm going to do one more fine, one more quilt stitch, a 23.
1, 2, 3, 4,
And here in the last, also in the second chain, I asked for one more quilt stitch. And now, after I did the last one, I go here on the third chain, 123, I pass my high point here with a boot. And so I finished another career. Now I'm going to repeat career number 3 little chains that equate me to a high point. Turn my work. And I'm going to make a high point on the first point here of the shell point. I make 3 chains and a high stitch in the last one here of the shell stitch. And one more high point, the first here, 3 chains, high point in the last. Three chains, high point at the last and third chain. And so I'm going to repeat this process, career 2 and 3, until it reaches the size. Look how beautiful it is. It's bauladinho here. Oh, it gives a very cool effect for the piece. Look, it's kind of embossed like this. It's very cute. So you're going to do it this way. The point is, so it's already well explained. You can visualize it well. How do you do it? Now I'm going to show you. I'm going to start the front part. Show well, that's how I'm going to do it, but it's following that same point. So I made here, my cord, with the 70 little chains, which is multiples of 5, which gives the size of 34 centimeters that I need. It's now, after I did it, it's the 70 chains. I'll put 4 more, okay? So it's the multiple of 5 plus 4. Now I'm going to do the same thing I did here in the sample. So if you don't see it here, you can turn back the video a little bit and see how I did it here in this sample. So in the 4th chain, I'm going to enter 1234, and I'm going to make the point, and I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to do the same thing I did there in the sample, only here in a larger size, which is by 3123. The 4th high point is, I know it's going to be bad for you guys to see, so I'll go until I'll explain. Call you guys. So here I'm going to descend the same way I did here until I reach. I'm going to explain here to you one thing, is how I'm going to make the collar hollow. If you want, you don't need to. You can weave the 2 parts straight here. I'm going to show you the drawing here. So I did it here with the pit. If you do not want to do the cava, you can weave straight. Until you reach the required size, make a rectangle without this reduction here too, okay? Yeah, so I'm going to show you, I've already woven one, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to make this other one, okay? So I woven it, so look, one is ready, here with the neckline. And from here it has given the size as much as I wanted to decrease. I woven it straight. But I will explain everything to you exactly step by step. So it's 80 centimeters long, so I need it here. I'm going to explain how far you should have been straight. Or how I did here, have to be straight up here. How's that? How are you going to figure out how much you need to have to be straight to start the decreases? So I have 80 centimeters and I wanted to leave here, 24 cents of hole, 24 cents of hole. That hole will start well. Where does the mango begin? So I weave it as 80 centimeters, 24, so I did the count 80 centimeters minus the 24 of carver. I have to weave 56 centimeters, so you do it like this, okay? So the length minus the size of the sleeve hollow. In my case, hollow sleeve I will make with 24 centimeters and the total length of 80. So I made 80 minus the 24 of the sleeve hollow, which gave me 56 centimeters. Then I knitted 56 centimeters straight. The way I explained there in the show. So if I count here, just the fan career, okay? I won't count on the chain career there. 534, 567, 89, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 is 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 2, 42, 5, 2 and 5, 25. Fan careers, okay? No, not counting fans, no. Sorry about the scoop. So, just counting, here he gave 25 careers of shell that gave my 56 centimeters. Then I started the decrease there. So I'm going to weave this other part, the same thing. 74 chains. I started weaving the same as I taught there in the sample for 56 centimeters. Then I started the decrease. But if you want, you can weave everything straight. A straight panel, a rectangle is also very beautiful. Yeah, so I'm going to weave this other part exactly like this until I get here. The 56 tomatoes, the 35 rows of scallops. Okay? When I get here, to start the decrease, I'll come back to show you how you do these decreases here. Okay? I came back here. That I weaved the 25 rows, counting only the fan rows, not the chains and high stitches here. Only the fan ones I twisted 25, 12, 34, 56, 78, 9, 1, 1, 1, 12, 1, 3, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25. And I went down the career of it here with high points and chains. Now I'm going to start the neckline is the hollow of the collar. I'm not going to do the sleeve. I'm going to go straight. So how do I explain? How do you do it? It's so you know where you have to stop in yours, which in mine I knitted until there were 24 centimeters left to give 80 centimeters, which is the total size. Then I was going to start making the pit, as I already have one ready here. I'm going to show you what you have to see. Pay attention to a little detail here. To what I'm going to show you where the right of the piece is. You're going to pay attention now. I made my first. This here is the right side of the piece. That's when this leftover initial chain cord is on the side of my left hand. Then I have the right side up. So I started the quarry. This side here. So it means that this side here of the coat, now I'm going to put on the other part that I'm weaving. So you have to pay attention to that detail. Okay? I will arrange here the other part, because this first part I came weaving. I started the decrease here, because here. If I were to do the same side, I would start the decrease here. Then it was wrong. I was going to do 2 equal parts. So you will pay attention to this detail. The first piece you weave, when it arrives here, it begins to decrease. If later in the second piece you are going to do this part here, you will start normally, and you will do the decrease at the end so you can continue here. Very right. The collar is fine, otherwise you will make 2 equal parts. So what? Either you're going to have to assemble that part, or you're going to have to turn a part inside out to be able to get married here. so it's not going to work. So pay close attention. The first part you do here at the beginning of the decrease on this side, and the second part on this side. So that was the detail I wanted to show you, and now I'm going to teach you how to do the decrease. So coming back here to get started, I stopped in this career, right? And now it's the career of decrease. But the decrease, and as I had explained, will be from here, at the end of the career. So here, I'm going to weave normally. 3 chains. I'll turn my work around, and I'm going to do something first. So this one I'm going to explain how you're going to make the decrease on this side, okay? Starting from this side, just to show, later I'm going to break it up, and I'm going to do the other side. So this side, if you are going to do it, is on this side here. You are going to jump. You made the 3 chains instead of this one. This is this one, this part here. On the second chain, do the shell stitch. You are going to jump and go there to the next one here and do the shell stitch. Go to the next one and test the rest of your career normally. I'm going to show you here. Look, it's already decreased here. I left this little chain cord undone in the next row. You're going to do the same thing, exactly the same thing. You're going to skip the first cord and go to the next, always skipping the first cord. Then you make the decrease. It's like this. That starts the decrease. Now I'm going to do this other normal side because I want to do the decrease there on the other side. So I hope I'm being clear on that part to you. So one side of the jacket, you don't have to pay attention to the detail of the side when you have the inside out. Right up and see. First, the decrease on one side of the career, then the decrease on the other side. If you are in doubt, you can send a message and I will respond. Okay, if I don't respond on time, sometimes there is no time. I don't have much time to respond, but I respond to all messages, unless there is a problem, some error, and I don't see it. But I usually reply to every message I send. So I'm going to weave this career normally. I'm doing my stitches here, quilts until I get here. I'm going to show you how I'm going to make the decrease on this side here. Okay? I arrived missing a little space here. To finish. So I made the fan. I've been making the fans normally from the beginning to the end of my career here, missing one. I'm going to simply jump. From this fan, I'm going straight here to the point and make a high point here. I'm going to make a double high point, 122 small loops so it doesn't get so tight. Loop strip once, loop 2, loop 3, just so it doesn't get so tight. And when you do it on the other side, when it's at the beginning, you can do 4 chains instead of 3, okay? It gets easier. I finished my career here. I'm going to make the decrease again, so I'm going to make 4 chains now, which are equivalent to a high point like this, elongated, because I'm going to turn my career around and I'm going to start another decrease here. Sorry, I'm not going to decrease, sorry. 3 chains only. The decreases will occur only at the shell point. It's not in the little houses here that we do the high point, the normal high point here. So this career is normal, without any decrease, okay? I'm preparing the boxes here, like, what is the name of the point shell point on the box? I'm making the boxes here so we can put the shell point. I'm going to show you how it looks. Look, I'm going to open it here. It's already reduced, and here, I made the stitch normally. I'm going to weave this whole normal career, and I'm going to go back to making the scallops until I get here to make another decrease together with you. I finished the whole career of this part of chains and came back weaving the fans. Oh, I usually weave the fans to the fans, not the scallops, and the last one is missing here. So whenever there is one missing on this side that is making the decrease, look, I'll simply skip it and make an elongated high stitch so it's not so tight. So the elongated high point is 2 chains, and I go straight there here. At the high point O, skipping the string of chains, I simply stop making a fan. Oh, here I shoot in 3 times. And I end my career with another decrease. Look, so the decrease always consists of the last skipping the square and doing everything again. I just look at how it's already diminished here. Oh, so that's it. It is very easy to make these reductions. With that point, I'm going to turn the job over here. I made the 3 chains. And I'm back weaving normal here without any decrease. So I'm going to weave the whole career again, doing this career here, finish it normally, and come back making the shells. When one is missing, I return to make another decrease together. Just to be clear, I finished the career of the chain girl and went back to weaving the fans. And I'm missing one here for me to finish, for me to weave. So what's the decreasing part like? Let me just finish here. So I'm going to simply jump and do 2 loops on the needle and go straight there to the high point and do my double high point strips 3 times. And so you go on doing. So I think it was very simple. I don't need to explain too much. Simply skipping 11 is a piece of cake. Then I weave making this decrease. You will do until you think they were size enough. I've been weaving, I have a total of 14 scallops in my career, and with the decreases I stopped with 6. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Look how much I still have to decrease. So each career I decreased. So you do it like this because then I left. This space here is enough for the shoulder, okay? It's a nice space here to sew the shoulder, so you'll have it being yours until you reach the required size. I'll weave mine. It's until it reaches 24 centimeter, counting from here, right, which was a first decrease, until it reaches 24 centimeters, which is the size of the pit, because the pit will start well. Where will you start the quarry? Dadu, the manga, okay? So that's the 24 centimeter I need to leave. I went down here in the other one that's already ready. I'll count here to see how many careers I've gone down. Here was my first of the decrease. Here, my first decrease. So here I'm going to count only the scoop ones. 12, 34, 5, 6, 7, 89, 10 scoop careers. Gave the required size. So what? When I went down, the decreases. And here? I thought I had enough. I made 3 rows of scoop. Let me leave it here to be more visible. 3 rows of scoop straight. No decrease, because if I decreased the 3, there would be a very small space here to sew the shoulder. Okay. So what did I do with this rectum when I thought it was enough? So you're going to do the same thing there. Look, I left 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 61. A little less than half of all the work here. Okay? So I'll go until I reach the necessary size and return to start the back part. Okay? But that's it. There's no secret. So don't forget that it's a panel. Yeah, you have to make the cavity very right here. Oh, like in the drawing, you need to do it right. Always stay like this on both sides with the right side up. So take a look before you start digging. Okay, so for example, this one I started the decrease here, and this one I had to weave my entire career to then start the decrease at the end. Okay, so there's this little detail there. So I'm going to finish my front part, then I'll return to do the back part. I came back here. Oh, that I finished the second part. Oh, so the front part is ready. So it gave a total of 3,535 rows, counting only those of the quilt runners, okay? And there I did. As I explained, the decrease to this side. I'm with the right side up. Oh, the two little points of the film are to my left side, and now it's very right. If I put it together here, I'll get a really tight collar. Now I'm going to go down the back part. What am I going to do? For the back part, I will add the amount of stitches I have here and make the string of chains. So I put 74 on each side because it's multiples of 5 plus 4. So here I'm going to count 70 plus 70, and at the end I put 4 more chains to close the stitch, and I'm going to have the same measurement. I can even increase a little bit, because I had done here with 34, leaving here about 2 centimeters to complete the size. I left it to make the finishing bar. So what am I going to do? I'll raise it. I think about 2 scoops on each side, so each scoops here is worth 5 points. Oh, 5 plus 5 out of 10, so 70. 80 points for each side, so 80 plus 80 will give 160 plus 4 in the end. So I'm going to have a cord of chains with 164 to make the back. The back I'm going to make the cord with the 164 chains and make this point here, back and forth, retina. I'm not going to make any reduction. I'm going to forget a panel, a retina part, without any decrease, okay? With the same number of carriers that I did here, the 35 carriers is, I'm going to start to show you, but I believe there's no need. So you add the 2 quantities and do it here with the same measure, okay? So I'm going to increase it because I left it a little smaller here to make the bar, but I'm going to make a cord with 164 chains and return. I made the chain cord here and I put 154 chains, 150 multiples of 5 plus 4. In the end, I was putting here 50 by 50. I was putting a marker to make it easier to count. Conference of the points is, but not here. I'm going to take everything off now and I'm going to start the back part. So as I said, there is no secret. You can add there the 2 parts of the front, or add a little more, or do as you need. I think it's easier, because since you've already made the measurement there, it's much easier. It's to start the same thing we've done so far, with the whole jacket, okay? Which is to make them to the point Concha Nakashin. So here I'm going to start. On the 4th chain, Guanqua 1, 2, 3, 4. In the 4th chain, I enter with needle and make my high point 3 chains and skip 3 chains base 123. On the 4th high point, then it's the same thing. If you are in doubt, you can rewind the video a little bit and see how I did it. At the beginning, in that lighter show, it makes it easier for you to see, because this black color is really difficult. I do high in a row, 1 in each chain, 3 jumping chains, 3,923 in the 4th high point chain, plus a high point on the next chain. Just turn here. and I twisted my 123 chain cord on Wednesday. I made a high point on the next chain, but staying like this. How did we come? Doing it from the beginning of the piece, so I'm going to normally weave this string of chains all over here. I will knit until I reach 35 rows, the same amount from the front. When I knit this part straight without any decrease, I return to explain the next steps. I came back here with the back part, all the tissue of this rectum, as I had said. With the same amount of careers that I did for the part, for the front two parts, I'm going over here to show it. Let me just find here. Here a part of the front, this goes here. Look, I made the same amount of careers that stayed here the same size. Then I'm going to join the shoulder up here and make the sleeve. So after I made these three pieces, right? The two front parts and the back part I will do. I just need to do it now. The mango I will. I already made one to advance because I like to do it and measure it to see if it will work. Then I'll pass it on to you. The exact measure I'll show you here. Here I already have woven, so this here is the sleeve that I already have woven. I made it a little shorter than the size I need because I'm going to make a little bar at the end, then it's okay. So I went down the ladle rows. Look, 12, 34, 5, 67, 89, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 181, 9, 221, scoop careers. Not to mention this one with the high points and chains, okay? There were 21 careers. I started my sleeve with 27 Simeon Choisho, 27 cincher, and 12, 34, 56, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 2 motifs of scallops, and I increased it and finished here. Oh, the final width from above, let's measure. So I got 50. It won't all show up. Oh, 50 centimeter, 50 centimeter. Here I got the final width, 50 centimeter. The total height is left to see if I can show you. I think it'll show. The length was 47 centimeter, 47 centimeter. The length I made so far, then I'm going to make a little bar. Okay? So now I'm going to teach you the step-by-step of this sleeve, how it starts, how it makes the increases. And here the question you are increasing. Then I slowly increased. And here I gave it a bigger increase because I realized that it was going to be very narrow, that I was going to stop at this width, so I ended up increasing it a little bit here, okay? But she was very gentle. The increase, I'm going to show you how to make this increase. Then you will do it according to your measurement. You will increase perhaps. You like a wider sleeve, a tighter sleeve, so it's a matter of taste. So it's a north for you to guide yourself the way I'm going to do it. So you know how to make your tighter, wider, okay? So let's go now to the mango step by step. To start the sleeve, I put 60 chains that will give the reason and 4 more to start. So to the multiple of the point is multiplus of 5 plus 4. So 60, which is multiplus of 5 plus 4, 64. I started the sleeve. So everything you do in this sleeve, you write down to do in the other one. Just like where you increased it is how much chain you started, right? So you don't have mistakes. don't get crooked and stay exactly the same. AA jacket sleeve. So here I'm going to enter the 4th chain, 1234. I'm going to make my high point here. How am I going to start? Yeah, I'm doing all the rest of the coat. The 3 chains and jump 3 here from base 123 on the 4th high point, and 1 more high point here. The 3 chains 123. I'm going to make this whole career here. And I'll be right back, okay? Because she's the same. She's all the rest of the work. She doesn't get any raise. So I'll make the whole career and return. I arrived here at the end of my career. I'm going to make 3 chains, go to work, and here I'm going to weave normally too. No is no increases. So I'm going to go down here to a point which is the 5 high points in the same chain and the next one. I'm going to go through my entire career. There won't be a raise in this one yet, and I'll be right back. I finished the 2nd career here. The 3rd career will not increase either. So I'm going to weave it normally, the 3 chains. I'm going to turn it over here and make the normal stitch. It will be the 3 chains and the usual. So I'm going to weave this entire career without a raise, and I'll come back and see that the next one will have a raise. Then I will explain how I am going to make this increase. I got to the end of the 3rd career now. I'm going to start the increase. I'm going to start here at the beginning. If you want it a little tighter, it will be normal as far as you want it to start increasing. So here I'm going to do the 3 little chains, which equals 1 high point. I'm going to turn the work around, and I'm going to make another high point on the same point here. Oh, on the first point. I don't know that it's difficult to see this black wool here. Oh, but on the first, I'm going to make another high point. And now I'm going to knit the stitch normally, making the scallops here normal. The only thing I did that was different from the point is to put 1 more there at the beginning. So from now on, I will weave everything normally, my whole career, making the fans here with the fans, not the scallops. It's with the 5 high stitches.
Aqui. Opa.
Everything's normal. Then I will weave the whole career normally, making my fan with the 5 high stitches until I reach the end. When I get to the end, I will come back to make the increase here together with you again. I've been going through the fans. Scallops up here at the end, and here I'm going to make a raise. So everything you do at the beginning, you have to remember to do at the end too, so you don't get crooked. The mango then arrived here. In the end, I make a high stitch on the last stitch, as if I were to knit the stitch normally, and I will make 1 more here on the same stitch. So here I have already started an increase. The next career will also increase. So I'm going to make 3 chains. Oops, 3 chains. I'm going to turn my work around, and I'm going to do 1 plus 1 high point in the first one, in the first one. I'm going to do one more. So here another increase has already happened. Oh, and I'm going to make a high point here on top of this second point here. Oh, I have 2 here, and now I'm left with 3, and I'm going to do one more, which is from the stitch here. Oh, on the first stitch of the stitch. So I got 4 high points in my career. Now I will follow my career normally. I do the three chains and the high points here normally. I go down the whole career now. Normally when I get there at the end, I come back to make the raise. I went through my entire career normally. Now, here at the end I have base and the scoop. I'm going to make a high point on the last point of the shell point, and I'm going to make a high point on top of each point here. And now one more to make the increase on that last point. So I also had 4 high points at the end of my career. Now for the next career, I'm going to make the 3 little chains that are equivalent to a high point for me. I'm going to change my work, and I'm going to jump a point after this one. And here, I'm going, in this one, I have 4 points. So I jump. I do this one here, it's the high point. I skip one on the next one. I'm going to do a shell stitch on top of it. Oh, the 5 high points, 12, 34, and 5. So here I already made a scoop that I didn't have at work, and now I do it normally, on the number 2 chain here. One more scoop. I'll move on to the next one. Here in the middle, another one. 3, 4, and 5 points. So here, look, I've already done a raise here. They're very close to each other. But then he adjusts himself as he weaves. So this one increased, so I had 12. Now I will have 13 scallops at the end of my career. So I will weave normally the entire career when I get here at the last time I return to do the increase again. I've spent my whole career making the scallops, and I ended up here at the end. I have the 4 high points. Here I jump 1. Next time I'm going to make a scoop. I made the 5 high points here. Jump 1. Next time I'm going to make the same point. Just as it's already increasing here. Now, for this career here, I'm not going to get a raise. I'm going to do it normally. So I make the 3 chains, which are equivalent to a high point, and I'm going to make a high point at the first point of the shell, as we normally do the 3 high point chains here at the end of the shell. How many? So here it is. Look how it increases. Oh, here it was normal. Here it increased. I'm going to weave this normal career no raise, and I'll be right back. So here I ended my career normally doing only the ups, so that's how all the increases happen, only I did the first increase. I'm going to start the second increase. I'm going to make 3 chains. I'm going to turn the work around in this career here, O chains. I'm already starting the increase. Well, I'm going to make a high point right at the first point here, along with the chains. This is my first increase from here. I go straight to the chain space and make my shell stitch that are the 5 high stitches here. So I started on another increase. I'm going to move on to the next one, and here I'm going to weave my career normally by doing my normal stitch here. The 5 high points, I will weave the whole career. Arriving at the end, I return. I have traveled the whole career, making the scallops here and here at the end. I'll give you another raise. So on the last high point, I make a high point, and one more of the increase. I'm going to make 3 little chains, which is equivalent to 1 high point. Come to my work, and I will do the raise here too. So here I make the raise. In the same way, I make 1 more point. On top of this here, I make a high point, and here on top of this first point of the shell, I make another high point, and I get here with 4 high points in a row. Now yes, I can normally follow the stitch making 3 chains, and I do the high stitch here on the shell. I'll weave the whole career. When I get to the end, I'll come back. I'm coming here at the end of my career, and I'm going to do it. I did the 3, change the high point on the last point of the scoop, and I do here a high point on top of each one that I have here in the career, totaling 3. And I'm going to do 1 more dually. 4 high points, I make the 3 chains, I turn my work, and now here I already start another scoop, so here I go in the jump. These chains here are worth the first point, so I jump 1 in the second here. Oh, I'm going to make another scoop, then I'll make a new scoop here. Here I go normally on the chain cord. And here, insert another scoop. So, just now, how is it increasing? I go, and she goes soft. I raise it. She doesn't. She looks good, really nice. So I will weave the whole career normally, making the scallops here. And when I get here at the end, at these 4 high points, I will return to do it again. Together with you, I have weaved the whole career. What now? Here I will make another increase. I'll make another one. A little scoop here then, skips 1. On the next, I do 23, 4, and 5 high points, and here on the last one, I do a high point. And so I finished another increase and added another scoop. So it's already increasing right here. I'm going to do it now. This career is normal, no raise. 2 and 3. Every time I put a little scoop here, I do the other career without a raise. So I'm going to do it normally at this first point of the scoop. I do the high point as I have been normally testing the 3 high point chains here. So I will weave this career normally without any increase until the end. When I get to the end, I will return. I finished my career here, and I'm going to do one more moment now. 6 chains come to work, and I'm going to do one more moment. So the increase is a high point at the same point as the chains. Yes, you will see if you want to do this amount of increases here, or if you will wait, you will do it little by little, the way you prefer. You will see how it gets and do it your way, okay? So here I'm going to do one more. I did the altos here at the same point, and I'm going straight here. To make the stitch, quill here on the chain 4 tip plus a 5, and I go down normally until the end of the career. It's here. I have 5 high points, and I'm going to make the scallops here until I get here at the end. When I get here in the end, I will return. So I'm coming here at the end of my career. And I do here, at the last point, a high point and another high point of increase for the next career. I make the 3 chains that are equivalent to a high point come in my work, and I will make another increase. So in the first one, I'll do one more, and I'll do a high dot for each dot that I have here. This one here, and the dot. The first point of the shell, so I total the 4 high points here, and here I follow normally. Making the 3 little chains and the high points here. So I will weave like this until the end of my career. When I reach the end of my career, I return to do the increase again. Here I am with you, so I will now weave until I reach the end. I came here at the end of my career, so I did the highs. Not that I skipped a point here. I did the high stitch on the last stitch of the quilt, and I'm going to do some here. And one more in the last one, which is the increase. So I also got 44 high points here. Now I'm going to make the straight lines, which are equivalent to 1 high point, and I'm going to make one more scoop increase here. So I'm going to skip 1. Next, I'm going to do my scoop of the increase. Five high points, and now I can move here in the third, in the second chain, and do mine. It's the shell stitch here normally, and I'm weaving like this until I get there at the end. When I get here at the end, at these 4 high points, I return. I weaved my whole career, and I got here in the final 4 high points. 4. Here I skip 1, and in the next I will make the link, and in the last I do the stitch with 3 chains, turns my work, and this always after I add an extra quilt. I don't have any increase. I do it normally, no raise. So now I'm not going to knit any more increases for 3 rows of scallops, okay? I don't count on this career here, what I'm doing with chains now. These high points only from the scoop. So, for 3 rows of scoop in a row, I'm not going to increase. I'm going to weave straight. Oh, because I thought you stretched out enough here. I'm going to weave 3 more rows like this, no increase and no decrease, no increase at all, okay? 3 rows of scallops. When I weave these 3 rows, I will return, and then I will make another increase, and then I will explain everything properly, how I will continue the sleeve. So look here, it has already given a very smooth increase. So here I started with 12 continuas, and now here I already have 12, 34, 5, 6, 7, 89, 10 or 11, 12, 13, 14, 151, 6, 17 and 18 continuas already in my career. So I'm going to weave these 3 rows well without any increase, 3 rows of scallops. When I'm done, I'll come back to explain the next steps. So I came back here. Oh, after the last moment, which was this one, I went down more than 3 rows of scallops. Oh, this was the last increase. I made 123 rows of scallops. Now I'm going to make another raise. So you see, you feel it, you see yours to see. Look, I'm going to show here how those increases are happening here. So you will see if yours needs to do so many careers, if you need to do more, if you want to continue increasing, you will do it according to your taste, according to your measurements. So now I'm going to do another raise here. So we always do the increase in this career here with chains when we are going to do it. In this case, when we stop in this career with chains, when we are going to act like a scoop that makes an increase. So I did it. 3 chains that equals is a high point. I turn my work around and I'm going to do it. Oh, everything is tangled up here in the thread here, and I'm going to make a high point on it at the first base point to make another increase here. And from here I go straight to the chain cord and make my fan. So as I did previously, the other increases. So here I make my ranking. 45, I'm going here for it.
E 5.
And so
I spend my entire career here, normally, making fans. When I get here at the end, I will return to make the increases here together with you. I arrived here at the end of my career, and here I will make another increase. So don't forget what you do at the beginning of your career. You have to remember to do here at the end. That sometimes this has happened to me before. From getting a raise at the beginning of your career, getting to the end, doing it, and ending up forgetting about the raise. Don't forget. So I did here the increase at the same point here in the last one. Now I do my 3 little chains, which equals 1 high point. Come here to work and I will make again another increase in the first. I'll make a high point. And I'm going to make a high point here on top of that second. High point. Oh. And a high point here on the first of the shell. And I got 4 high points here in my career. The rest of my career is normal. I pass the 3 chains and the high stitches here. Normally I will weave the rest of the career and return there at the end. Arriving here at the end of my career, I made the 3 chains. I'm going to make the high point on the last point of the shell point and a high point on these that I have here. Oh, and in this last one, I'm going to make another increase, which is another point here in the seam. So I also had 4 high points here at the end of my career. For the next career, I will make 3 chains, which are equivalent to a high point, and now I will make an extra scoop on these 4 points. So I'm going to skip the second well on the third here, oh, and I'm going to do my shell stitch, which is the 5 high stitches together. This is where the increase happened. I increased 1 more scoop, and now I normally go on the chain cord of the chain number 2. I do the other stitch quilt, and so I'm going to go until the end of my career in simple. Then I'm going to do, here is the entire career, and here at the end I return this here, shell point the entire career, and here at the end I will do 1 more. So here I'm going to skip 1 point, and the next one to the 1, and the next one I'm going to make 1 more shell here. So 5 high points on the same point and 1 high point on the last point I have here in my career. So now that I've finished increasing here, I've increased 1 more shell on each side. Don't you have that career? Is it? There's no raise. So I make the 3 little chains that are equivalent to a high point, and I will make the point normally here in this career. I did the high point here and a high point on the first point of the shell, the 3 little chains and the high points here. So this career has no increase. It's normal until the end, so I'll weave it normally, and when I'm done, I'll return. I reached the end of my career here, and now I'm going to weave. I'm not getting that raise anymore. For now, I'm going to weave 6 rows, like I did here. Oh, after the last increase, I weave 3 rows of scoop and then I made an increase. Oh, now I'm going to weave 6 rows of scoop without increase, okay? So I'm going to weave mine here without any increase, okay? The 6 rows of scoop. When is it when I reach the end of these 6 careers, I return, and then what? The sleeve is almost finished, so I'm going to make another increase. And the last one, so for now, the 6 100 increase. I weaved the 6 rows of scallops after the last increase that happened here. Oh, then I counted 1. 23, 45, and 6. I did the 6 rows without any increase, and now I will do the last increase of the sleeve, which is to add 1 more scoop. So I'm going to do it the same way I was doing it before. So here I did this normal career of chains. Now I'm going to make 3 little chains that equals me to a high point. I'm going to turn the work over and start making the increases here. To organize my yarn that was left here is I'm going to turn the work over and I'm going to make a high point in the same space here. From the first point that will happen now, start the increases. I made the high point here. And already at the same point, and I'm going to jump here to the chains.
And I'm going to do my shell stitch normally, which is the 5 high stitches on the same chain here times 5. I go to the next chain space and do the fan normally until I get there at the end of my career. I will weave the rest of the career doing normally the shell stitches until I get here at the end. Arriving here at the end, I return. I reach the end of my career doing the shell stitches here, and I will do another increase here at the end. So I do the high point on the last point and 1 more high point of the increase. For the next career, I will do the 3 chains, which is equivalent to a high point. I'm going to change my job here, and I'm going to make another raise here in the same. I'll do 1 more high point. I'll do 1 high point on this point here, and 1 more high point on the first one of the quilt. And I'm going to keep the 4 high stitches here, and now I'm going to make the 3 chains and the high stitch here normally, as I've always been weaving 3 chains, 3 high stitches here. So from now on, I will weave my career normally. When I get there at the end, I will return to make the increase together with you. I arrived here at the end of my career. I made the 3 chains. I'm going to make the high point on the last point of the shell and a high point on top of these. Here I make 1 here. A high point at the last point and another high point, which is dual mirror. So I got 4 high points here. In the end, for the next career, I make the 3 chains that equals a high point. I turn it into a job, and here I'm going to do it. The last one, I'm going to add a shell here, and the last one is to increase my sleeve, so I go that the chains are equivalent to a high point. I'll skip 1. Next time I'll do it here. The scoop is the 5 high points on the same point. Here, oh. Fifteen 5 high points here. I'm going to the chain space and do my other one here with my other scoop normally. Now I'm going here to the next one, and I'm now normally weaving my career until I get there at the end. So I'll weave everything here and be right back. I finished my entire career, and here at the end I'm going to make another scoop. So here I'm going to skip one point and go to the next. I know you can't see anything here, the position of the stitches, but I skip one on the next, I make the scoop. $12.34 and 5. What now? I make a high point here at the last point of the career for the next career. I'm going to make 3 little chains, turn my job around, and I'm not going to make any more increases in my career. I have already reached the width I need, so I will weave normally. Now I'm going to make the highlight here, and I don't have it anymore. Increases to make until the end. I will weave this entire career here without any increase, and another career ladle. And then I finish the sleeve, so I'm going to weave this normal row and another scoop row without any increase. And then I finished my career, that's all. So I'm going to do this career next time, and then when will I return? I finished, I came back here because I made the career I was missing. So here was the last of the increase that I added to the 4 high points and added an extra scoop. Then I did another scoop career and finished, and I've already reached the size I need for sleeves, and I stopped at this career. Here is chains. Now can I cut the thread? And finish here. So I made it a little shorter, which is to make a bar later, okay? So you see how you're going to do yours. I think because I'm too short a good thread now, it's so the 2 sleeves are ready. So everything you do in one, you do in the other, you count the stitches. So you don't get crooked. So I started the manga here with 12 motifs, 12 scallops, and finished with 22 EE scallops. I went down 21 rows of scallops, just counting the scallops. 12, 3, 4, 5, 6, counting 21, that's 20 and about 21 rows. And it gave me the size I needed. Now it's just sewing, it's joining all the pieces of the coat. And make the bar, and it's finished. Now, to make the pose, I put here the back of the jacket with the right up. It's next to the right, it's up if you don't know the position of the dots. Don't you know which side is right and which side is wrong? You will base yourself on the tip here of the string of chains that you started. If he's here on the side of your left hand, the right is up. If this little end of the cord is on the right side of your right hand, it's upside down, okay? So I'm here with the end of the thread, the string of chains. On the left side, on my left side, so here my right is up, and now I'm going to position the front part. I'm going to bend it here a little bit just so you can see it up here, okay? He's right up, and I'm going to take a part of the front and I'm going to put it upside down now. So I'm going to take this part that's from here, and I'm going to position it upside down. Look at the position of the end of the thread here. The end of the chain thread is on my right side. So I have it upside down, and I'm going to position it. I'm just going to roll it up here so you can see it better on the camera here. I'm going to position it up here. So it was like, upside down. And I take everything here inside out, and right side, wrong side. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side of the coat, the other part. I have to put the side inside out up too. So here, the end of the chain wire is on my right side, so I'm upside down. I'm going to fold it here just so you can see it, and I'm going to position it there in the corner. In the other, the couple got huge, so here, and I'm going to do the sewing here. And here it is now positioned right to do the sewing. I'm going to close this part right here. So I can start sewing it together here. For sewing, you can sew with the upholstery needle or with the needle itself. Here, crochet. So I'm going to count here. I was left with a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spaces of chains. So here I have to sew the same amount. 12, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So I have to sew up here. So it's really straight. I'm going to tie the thread right here at the beginning. I'm going to put it here. At first I know it's hard to see because of the color. We don't see the position of the points, okay? I was right on top of the point. I'll pull the wire here. Here you put the wire in the way you have become accustomed to, the way you want. So how are you going to start? I ran the wire here and I'm going to tie it up. I like to tie up. I tie it and leave a little tip to do the finishing. Then, now that I have the thread positioned here, I'm going to insert the needle at the same point where I tied the thread and go to the back at the last point here. I insert the needle and I'm going to take my thread here, which I tied. I'm going to pull. Go inside the 2, make a chain. I make a chain here. I go to the next point. I go inside it and I go there in the back row. I enter with a needle at the top of the point here. In the second alina.com point, and makes a low point. If you want, you can make a very low point or a low point. Here, I'm going to test now with you doing a low point, hugging. Here's the chain space. Let's see how it goes. I'm going to do 3 because I have 3 chains. I just want to do a test to see if it will be good at the next point. I go in with a needle and go there at the other point. Oh, I go in with a needle and make a low point. I go in the next point. So you align with point, oh, and make point low. Now I'm going to test it to see how it turned out. Oh, it turned out good. Oh, so I'll do the rest of the sewing this way. So now here, oh, in the space of chains, I'm going to make 3 low points. Oh, joining the 2 sides, it's 12 and 3. In the high points, I insert needle in the high point and there in the back row in the high point. So this sewing is very simple. Just align it right. Oh, on the next stitch, I insert at the top of the stitch at the front. I go there to the back and insert needle at the top of the stitch on the back. I pull the thread, I do the low point, and here in the chain space. I do 3 low points, so there's no secret. This seam is very simple. And also, if you don't like the way I'm sewing, you can do it the way you're used to, the way you think it's cool. Maybe you prefer it another way. So it's a suggestion, okay? So I'll do it here. If 3, just look at how it's getting. I'm almost at the end. Here you don't tighten too much, but don't leave it too loose either, okay? If you squeeze too hard, it will wrinkle. And I arrived here in the last, oh, and I finished the sewing here. Here I can cut the thread and make that little loop, and the seam on one shoulder is ready. Look how everything was at a low point and the right side was like this. Now I'm going to do the same on the other side. The other side, either I start here or I turn, reverse the piece. So you can count here, oh, and be sure and start from here to there. Or you can turn your whole play here. Oh, I'll do it like this, come different, I'll turn, okay? I have the back part up and the front part down here, but it's very tight, well positioned. It already ties the thread here. Same thing I did on the other side of the 2 nuts, not to fall apart. So I start sewing here. I insert here at the first point where I tied the thread, and here in the chain, here in the front part, leaves the thread. I make my low point a chain, in this style here. If you want, you can bring it here and hide it too. Okay, look, there's a producer. He's here now. He's more aligned in the next background. Yeah, next point I'll leave out and I won't pass, okay? Then I beat them. Low point in the chain space, I make a very straight line. the 3 low points in the chain space, the low point and the low point of the back row. So I'm going to keep doing it the way I did on the other side. I'm not going to record video so it doesn't get too repetitive, because it's exactly the same as what I'm going to do on the other side. So you see pretty well here. When you get here at the end, just stop, cut the thread, and the seam will be ready. So I'm going to finish mine here. When I'm done, I'll be back. I finished the sewing and turned the jacket to the right side up. Look how the stitching turned out here. So I'm going to leave. I'm going to open my coat like this. I'm with the coat right up. Let me just organize it here, and I'm going to open it like this. I'm going to take the 2 sides here. Oh, this front side I'm going to pull here, and the back part there. It's so hard to show why he's so big. Oh, I'll open it. Oh, part of the back and the front here. Oh, I'll leave it stretched. That part is what matters to us to appear now here. Oh, let's see if I can show it. I'm just going to organize it because he got really big. It's hard for me to show you here. So the front, look now, I've arranged what am I going to do now. I'm going to put the sleeve on so I have my coat stretched out. Oh. It's open to the seams of the da-da shoulder. They're there. Oh. And I'm going to do now is sew the sleeve. So I'm with the jacket right up. Remembering there, you don't know the position of the stitches. Oh, the tip of the string of chains. Oh, this one here is from the side of the front. Oh, it's on my left side. I'm with the whole jacket right up, and I'm going to get the sleeve now. I'm going to leave the sleeve upside down, then the jacket right up, the sleeve upside down, and I'm going to position it here. Let's see if I can show him why he's so big. So here's the shoulder seam, and here's the sleeve. The sleeve is upside down. What I can do is count and find the middle of this sleeve. 12, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 202, 1, 22, 11. So I'm going to count 11 on each side. Half 22 is 11, 12, 34, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Here's the middle of the coat. So I'm going to position the middle of the coat right here at the seam, at the shoulder seam, middle of the coat. It's at the shoulder seam. And now I'm going to join here as follows. Here, the shoulder, the sleeve is still open. And I'm going to put her together now like this. So I thought, I'm going to take the marker and put it on to make it easier. So I learned from the marker, and I'm going to explain everything clearly to you here what I did. So I found the middle of the sleeve. So I counted how many spaces I have here in chains. The total I have is 22. So what did I do? I counted 11, which is half divided by half. So I counted 12, 34, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Here was half. So what did I do? I put it, as it turned out, in the chain space. I took the chain number 2 there because I have 3. There was 1 on each side, and it was right in the middle. So I learned from the marker right at the shoulder seam. Oh, at the shoulder seam I lost. So here's the middle of my coat, okay? So here, oh, I counted it again. Oh, and I fixed it there that the middle was a little crooked, so I have 1, 3, oh, little chain space, 12, 34, 5, 6, 7, 89, 10, 11. Then I put the marker on the other side, 12, 34, 5, 6, 7, 89, 10, 11. I have 11 on each side, and here is the middle. Oh, right in the middle of high here. Oh, and then I pinned it with the marker right at the shoulder seam here on the jacket. The middle is right now. And then I stretched it here. Well, stretched, it's not that stretched, right? I put it here. Oh, where I thought it was right. I measured it, gave 24 cm. That's made, sirs. I did the same thing, stretched it like this. Prendiultimo.com, this point here that I thought it gave the size. I also measured 24 centimeters for each side, and to confirm I counted O after the marker here, O. Here I have 12, 34, 56, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 10. Scallops here, careers and scallops. So I have to have the same one on this side. Oh, 12, 34, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1, 0. It worked really well, so the mango won't get crooked. I held it here, oh, so I wouldn't slip. Everything is already marked, so it's very clear, both in the centimeter and in the careers. Here is the sleeve organized, so you can do the sewing. So what am I going to do now? I'm going to organize it to sew. I'm going to organize it, and I'll be right back because I have to organize it, because this sleeve won't stay like this on this side. I'm going to have to turn around and put her up. All this I did was to count, to be able to divide, find the middle, find the dots. Now I'm going to show you that I have to put this sleeve here, turned like this, okay? I'll see if I can show you here. Even difficult. When the piece gets too big for us to get, I'll take it out here. I know it's 10 each way. I took it here, I'll take it here too. And here, oh, that I have to be. Upside down, I'm going to take just a little bit here. Oh, just this part, because here is my middle and I turn it like this, oh, this way. On top of the coat, it's like this, upside down, reverse up and jacket right up. So now I know that here is my middle, and I'm going to put it there in the seam of the other. Okay, I got the middle here. Now I'm going to count the 10 careers that I had separated before. 12, 34, 5, 6, 7, 89, 10. Here, right here, 10. At that point, I should sew the same thing on this side. It's a little here, oh. After sewing the shoulder, it is stitch 12, 34, 5, 67, 8, 9, 1, 0, and fasten it very tight on the last ready. Now the sleeve is very tight to make the sewing in this way that we organize. This is how we organize to sew. Now, what am I going to do with this job? Then he turned. Oh, I hit the camera. It's turning him all over here for me. Oh, guys, sorry, but it's so difficult to film and show everything to you like this. Then I turned it sideways to make it easier for me to sew. That's it. Now, yes, I will be able to sew, so I will approach so I can sew this. So I'm going to approach, he's on his side. I'm going to take it here, oh, and I'm going to do the seam the same way I did the shoulder. But now the difference here is not top to top because here is the side O. So let's see how we're going to make this seam. So I'm going to insert needle here. Oh, at the last point here, I'm going to insert needle. I'm going to take this marker off the front just a little bit. Here I'm going to leave it still because here I have to start sewing, so I have to know that there, then I put it here if you don't have a marker to attach it. You can use pin, you can use those sewing pliers, those pins that open and close. If you don't have it, you can use it.
Career now. I'm going to start the increase. I'm going to start here at the beginning. If you want it a little tighter, it will be normal as far as you want it to start increasing. So here I'm going to do the 3 little chains, which equals 1 high point. I'm going to turn the work around and I'm going to make another high point on the same point here. Oh, on the first point, I don't know that it's difficult to see this black wool here. Oh, but on the first, I'm going to make another high point. And now I'm going to knit the stitch normally, making the scallops here normal. The only thing I did that was different from the point is to put 1 more there at the beginning. So, from now on, I will weave everything normally, my whole career, making the fans here with the fans, not the scallops, it's with the 5 high stitches.
Vou fazendo aqui.
Everything's normal. Then I will weave the whole career normally, making my fan with the 5 high stitches until I reach the end. When I get to the end, I will come back to make the increase here together with you again. I've been going through the shells all the way to the end.
And here I'm going to give you a raise. So everything you do at the beginning, you have to remember to do at the end too, so you don't get crooked. The mango then arrived here. In the end, I make a high stitch on the last stitch, as if I were to knit the stitch normally, and I will make 1 more here on the same stitch. So here I've already started an increase. The next career will also have an increase. So I'm going to make 3 chains. Oops, 3 chains. I'm going to turn my work around and I'm going to do 1 plus 1 high stitch in the first one. I'm going to do 1 more. So here has already happened another increase. Oh, and I'm going to make here a high point on top of this second point here. Oh, I have 2 here and now I have 3. And I'm going to do 1 more, which is from the point here. Oh, in the first point, from the Crochê point. So I got 4 high points in my career. Now I will follow my career normally. I go 3 by 3, chain the high points here normally. I go down the whole career now. Usually when I get there at the end, I come back to make the raise. I went through my entire career normally. Now here at the end I have base and the scoop. I'm going to make a high point on the last point of the shell point, and I'm going to make a high point on top of each point here. And now 1 more to make the increase on that last point. So I also had 4 high points at the end of my career.
Now for the next career, I'm going to make the 3 little chains that are equivalent to a high point for me. I'm going to change my work, and I'm going to jump a point after this one, and here in this one I have 4 points, so I jump. I do this one here, it's the high point, I skip one on the next one, I'm going to do a shell stitch on top of it. Oh, the 5 high points, 12, 34, and 5. So here I already made a scoop that I didn't have at work, and now I do it normally. Oh, in the chain number 2 here. One more scoop. I'll go next here. In the middle, another 3, 4, and 5 points before. So here, look, I've already done an increase here. It's very close to each other. But then he adjusts himself as he grows stronger. So this one increased, so I had 12, now I will have 13 scallops at the end of my career. So I will weave normally the entire career when I get here at the last time I return to do the increase again. I went through my whole career making the scallops, and I got here in the end, I have the 4 high points. Here I jump 1. Next time I'm going to make a scoop. I made here the 5 high stitches, jump 1. In the next one I will make a wide stitch. And look, as it's already increasing here. AA. Now, for this career here, I'm not going to get a raise. I'm going to do it normally. So I make the 3 chains, which are equivalent to a high point, and I'm going to make a high point on the first point of the shell, as we normally make the 3 chains high point here at the end of the shell at the beginning of the other. Three containers. So here it's like this. See how it increases. Smooth. It was normal here. It increased here. I'll weave this normal career. No raise and be back soon. Here I ended my career typically doing only the highs. So that's how all races happen, except for the first race. I'm going to start the second increase. I'm going to make 3 chains. I'm going to turn the work around in this career here. Oh, chains. I'm already starting the increase. Well, I'm going to make a high point right at the first point here along with the chains. This is my first increase from here. I go straight to the chain space and make my shell stitch that are the 5 high points here, so I started another increase for the next one. And here I'm going to be a normal career, doing my normal point here. The 5 high points, I'm going to go down the entire career. At the end, I will return. I've spent my whole career making the shells, here and here at the end. I'll give you another raise. So on the last high point, I make a high point, and one more of the increase. I'm going to make 3 little chains, which is equivalent to a high point.
I'm turning my job over and I'm going to do the raise here too. So here I make the raise. In the same way, I make one more point. On top of this here, I make a high point, and here, on top of this first point of the shell, I make another high point, and I get here with 4 high points in a row. Now yes, I can normally follow the stitch making 3 chains and pass the high stitch here in the shell. I'll weave the whole career. When I get to the end, I'll come back. I'm coming here at the end of my career and I'm going to do it. I made the 3 chains the high point at the last point of the scoop, and I make here a high point on top of each one that I have here in the career, locating 3, and I will make another increase. And I 4 high points, I make the 3 chains, I turn my work, and now here I already start another scoop. So here I go in the jump. These chains here are worth the first point, so I jump 1 in the second here. Oh, I'm going to make another scoop, then I'll make a new scoop here. And here I normally go on the chain cord. And here insert another scoop. So just now, how is it increasing? I go and she goes soft. I raise it, she doesn't. She looks good, really nice. So I will weave the whole career normally, making the scallops here. And when I get here at the end, at these 4 high points, I will return to do it again together with you. I have weaved the whole career. What now? Here, I'll give you another raise. I'll make another one. A little scoop here then, skips 1 on the next. I do 3, 4, and 5 high stitches, and here on the last one. I make a high point. And so I finished 1 more increase and increased 1 more scoop. So it's already increasing right here. I'm going to do it now. This career is normal. No increase. 2 and 3. Whenever I put a scoop here, I do the other career without a raise. So I will do it normally. In this first point of the scoop, I make the high point like wine, normally weaving the 3 chains high point here. So I will weave this career normally without any increase until the end. When I get to the end, I'll come back. I finish my career here, and I will now do 1 more moment. Three chains come to work, and I will make another increase. So the increase is a high point at the same point as the chains is, you will see if you want to do this amount of increases here, or if you will wait, you will do it little by little, the way you prefer. You will see how it gets and do it your way. Okay? So here I'm going to do one more.
I made the high at the same point, and I'm going straight here to make the quilt stitch here on the chain 4 tip plus a 5, and I'm going down normally until the end of the career is here. I have the 5 high points, and I'm going to make the scallops here until I get here at the end. When I get here in the end, I will return. So I'm arriving here at the end of my career, and I step here at the last point, a high point, and another high point of increase. For the next career, I make the 3 chains that are equivalent to a high point for me. I'll turn my work around and I'll do one more moment. So in the first one, I'll do one more. And I'm going to make a high point for every point that I have here. This one here, and the point, first point of the shell. So I total the 4 high points here, and here I follow normally, making the 3 little chains and the high points here. So I will weave like this until the end of my career. When I reach the end of my career, I will return to do the raise again here with you. So I'm now going to weave my career normally until I get there at the end. I came here at the end of my career. So yeah, I did the high. It's not that I skipped point here. So I did the high point on the last point of the shell, and I'm going to do it here. 2, and 1 more in the last, which is the increase. So I also got 44 high points here. Now I'm going to do the 6 quiet ones, which equals 1 high point, and I'm going to increase here 1 more scoop. So I'm going to skip 1. Next, I'm going to do my scoop of the increase. Stitches, and now I can move here on the 3rd on the 2nd chain, and I make my shell stitch here normally, and I'm weaving like this until I get there at the end. When I get here at the end, at these 4 high points, I return. I weaved my whole career, and I got here in the final 4 high points. Here I skip 1, and the next I'll do it, and the last one. I do the stitch with 3 chains. They saw my work. And this always after I add an extra quilt. I don't have any increase. I do it normally, no raise. So now I'm not going to knit any more increases for 3 rows of scallops. Okay? I don't count on this career here what I'm doing now with chains. What about those high points?
just from the scoop. So for 3 rows of scoop in a row, I'm not going to increase, I'm going to weave straight. Oh, because I thought you stretched out enough here. I'm going to weave 3 more rows like this. No increase and no decrease. No increase at all, okay? 3 rows of scallops. When I weave these 3 rows, I will return, and then I will make another increase. And then I explain everything properly. How I will continue the sleeve. So look here. It has already given a very gentle increase. So here I started with 12 scoops, and now here I already have 12, 34, 5, 6, 7, 89, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 151, 6, 17 waiting scoops already in my career. So I'm going to weave these 3 rows well without any increase. 3 rows of scallops. When I'm done, I'll come back to explain the next steps.
So I came back here. Oh, after the last moment, which was this one, I went down more than 3 rows of scallops. Oh, this was the last increase. I made 123 rows of scallops. Now I'm going to make another raise. So you see, you feel it. You see yours to see? Look, I'm going to show here how those increases are happening here.
So you will see if yours needs to do so many careers, if you need to do more, if you want to continue increasing, you will do it according to your taste, according to your measurements. So now I'm going to do another raise here. So we always make the increase in this chain career here when we are going to do it, in this case when we stop in this chain career, when we are going to do it as a scoop, which makes an increase that I did.
3 chains that equals 1 high point. They saw my work and I'm going to do it. Everything is tangled up here, the wire here, and I'm going to make a high point on the same at the first base point to make another increase here, and from here I go straight to the chain cord and make my fan. So, as I did previously the other increases, so here I do my rec and 5, I'll go here for it.
And so I spend my entire career here, normally making fans. When I get here at the end, I will return to make. The increase is here together with you. I arrived here at the end of my career, and here I will do one more moment. So don't forget what you do at the beginning of your career. You have to remember to do it here at the end, which has sometimes happened to me before. From getting a raise at the beginning of your career, getting here at the end, doing it, and ending up forgetting about the raise, okay? Then don't forget. So I did here the increase at the same point here in the last one. Now I do my 3 little chains, which equals 1 high point. Come here the work, and I will make again another increase in the first. Me. I already make a high point, and I'm going to make a high point here on top of this second. High point, oh.
And a high point here on the first of the shell. And I got 4 high points here in my career. The rest of my career is normal. I make the 3 chains and the high stitches. Here normally, I will weave the rest of the career and return there at the end. Arriving here at the end of my career, I made the 3 chains. I'm going to make the high point on the last point of the shell point and a high point on these that I have here. Oh, And in this last one, I'm going to make another increase, which is another point here in the same. So I also had 4 high points here at the end of my career.
For the next career, I will make 3 chains, which are equivalent to a high point, and now I will make an extra scoop on these 4 points. So I'm going to skip the second well on the third here, and I'm going to do my shell stitch, which is the 5 high stitches together.
This is where the increase happened. I increased 1 more scoop, and now I go normally on the chain cord of the chain number 2. I do the other stitch quilt, and so I'm going to go until the end of my career, and simple. Then I'm going to do here is the entire career, and here at the end I return this here shell point the entire career, and here at the end I will do 1 more. So here I'm going to skip 1 point, and the next one I'm going to make 1 more shell here. So 5 high points on the same point, and 1 high point on the last point I have here in my career. So now that I've finished increasing here, I've increased 1 more shell on each side. Don't you have that career? Is it? There's no raise. So I make the 3 little chains that are equivalent to a high point, and I will make the point normally here in this career. I did the high point here and a high point on the first point of the shell. The 3 little chains and the high points here. So this career has no increase. It's normal until the end, so I'll weave it normally, and when I'm done, I'll return.
I reached the end of my career here, and now I'm going to weave. I'm not getting that raise anymore. For now I will weave 6 rows like I did here. After the last increase, I weaved 3 rows of scallop and then I made an increase. Now I'm going to weave 6 rows of scoop without increase, okay? So I'm going to weave mine here without any increase, okay? The 6 rows of scoop.
When I reach the end of these 6 careers, I'll come back and the sleeve is almost finished. So I'm going to make another increase and the last one, then for now the 6 100 increase. I went down the 6 rows of scallops after the last increase, which happened here. Then I counted 1, 23, 45, and 6. I did the 6 rows without any increase, and now I will do the last increase of the sleeve, which is to add 1 more scoop. So I'm going to do it the same way I was doing it before. So here I did this normal career of chains. Now I'm going to make 3 little chains that equals me to a high point. I'm going to turn the work over and start making the increases here. Organize my yarn that was left here I'm going to turn the work over and I'm going to make a high point in the same space here. From the first point that will happen now, start the increases. I made the high point here.
And already at the same point, and I'm going to jump here to the chains.
Weighing, going all over the coat, making this career here again. Then I'll come back to show you how I'm going to make the sleeve bar. I finished the whole bar, made only those 3 rows. Oh, 2 of bar stitch and 1 of high stitch, and cut the thread here. When I found it is here at the beginning, so here is the bar ready. I'm going to start now making the cuff of the sleeve, so I tied the thread here, right at the seam of the sleeve, under the arm, right at the seam of the sleeve. I tied the thread, and I'm going to start here where I tied the thread. I insert the needle, and I'm going to make 3 little chains that will equal me to a high point, and I'm going to do the same thing I did on the bar. Okay, I made the 3 chains here, and here, I already bring all these wires that I have here to hide. I've got it all on this high. Here I can make a point on the 3 chains. I make the high point because here, look how I finished. I started the ma'am, then each chain a high point and us, here too. So it's the same thing with the bar. There's a little chain that I organize all these threads here. I make my highlight. Space of chains a few points before I'm going to do this way. When I go through the entire career here, I'm going to close in the 3rd chain and go without rotating the work, always continuing on the right side. I already do it like I did at the bar. One point in redavo, caught from the front, 1 point in redavo, caught from the back, 1 in front, 1 behind, and I'm going the whole career. Arriving here, closes the career in the 3rd chain, and the next career does the same thing as the bar. Repeats where it is in the net. Caught in the front, does caught in the front where it is in the net. Caught from behind, does in the net, caught from behind. As if you have a little doubt, you can go back a little video and see when I taught. There, the beginning of the bar that will be very clear, which is the same, was made there. So I'm going to make the 2 bars that same shape. I still don't know how many careers I will do to reach the size I need, so you will do yours until you have more or less the size you need for your bar. It can be the same amount of bar here you made on the whole coat, or it can be larger too. I'll make them here. 34, about 4 centimeters more or less. I don't know how many careers it's going to give me, but as soon as I finish the 2 fists here, I'll come back to teach you the next steps. Look, I got my coat here. Okay, I finished the bar, and Amanda, look how it turned out. I didn't make it tight or long. I did the same amount I did here, the 3 rows, 1 high point and 2. From the raise point, I did not adjust. I really let it go because I wanted it that way. I'm going to finish it like this. I'm not going to press the button at all. I said I was going to make a little belt. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to leave it anyway. That's it. If you want it by button, just put it here, and then it closes in the little house. Because there is only a little space between the points, you don't even need to make a little house. And the sleeve, if you want, can be reduced to give a tight fit here on the cuff. It's just that I wanted the fist wide anyway. Now I'm going to teach you how to do just the finishing of these threads here. That were left over at the end of the sleeves. At the end here of the coat anyway, you'll find you're going to turn your jacket inside out, and you're going to look at all the yarn that's left over, and you're going to finish it. I'm going to teach you now how to do this finish with your own crochet needle. So I took it
I'll take this one with the limp one. I'm wearing my right coat and I'm going to turn it around like this. Oh, to put this thread on the inside out. So what am I going to do? I'll bring him here. I'm going to insert the needle into the stitch loops, which is on the inside. I'll run that wire. I'm going to walk with this thread inside here, inside out, passing it between some loops of the stitches. Oh, and you have to be careful not to pass it to the other side. I'm just passing a few straps here. I know the color is dark. You won't be able to see the detail well, but it's just a few straps here, and I'm walking with this thread down here. Then you look on the right, there's nothing. It's a very beautiful finish. And this thread hides here. You can come over here, come over here. What also helps a lot is to take a thread of another color, a thinner needle to pass this thread that will be easier to get between the stitches. Or if you want, you can put it on an upholstery needle, and ironing it also works. Look, and then you do this with all the wires. You walk with it upside down until it runs out, or you think you've had enough, because sometimes you cut really big. Then you can stop. Oh, from here. Oh, he came here, and I'm going to spend all of him here. There's only a little bit left there, here. Oh, I give it a little stretch and I can cut off this little bit that's left. And so is the finish. You're going to do this with all the wires, then you're going to flip it all at once. You will look for it because there are several strands left over. You're going to do that. You're going to walk with him between the points to the side at once. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this jacket from this video lesson. If you like it, leave your like, subscribe to the channel if you are not already subscribed, and be sure to activate notifications so that YouTube can always notify you when I post a new video lesson. That's it. You don't miss any news here on the channel. Until next time.